Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're just hours away from what could be the most entertaining and most boring boxing match of the year. We've got Iron Mike Tyson versus the problem child, Jake Paul, live on Netflix down in Dallas. Well, our New York Post boxing reporter, Jared Schwartz, has been all over the hype leading into this fight, and my man joins us now from D-Town. I was in Germany with you last week. Now you're at Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. I want your job, sir. What's going on?
We're going from schnitzel to Dallas barbecue in just a couple of days. But yeah, I'm here in Dallas, here for the fight, and there's a palpable energy in the city.
Okay.
Waiting to see just what the heck happens in this fight tonight.
Well, that energy for damn sure ain't for the Cowboys. So Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, they turned the heat up at face-off. They turned the heat and the hype up at weigh-ins. Mike slapped them like Buddy from the real world Seattle did back in the day. So talk to us not only about all the hype surrounding this fight, but the vibe of weigh-ins on yesterday.
Yeah, with that slap, it just continues that circus-like atmosphere that's kind of surrounded this whole event. And look, he's certainly not the first. Mike Tyson is certainly not the first person to shove or slap his opponent during weigh-ins. That's something that we've seen for years and years and years throughout boxing to help promote fights. Look, he said it was because Jake Paul, when they came face to face for their final face-off, stepped on his toe. I don't know if I completely believe that reason. It seemed like he was always going to slap him. But I think for the first time, we saw angry Mike Tyson. Up until this point, he was, kind of playful Mike Tyson. He was selling the event Mike Tyson. He was charismatic Mike Tyson. This, for the first time, you saw that look on his face. He meant business. That was the Mike Tyson. That was the growl. That was the, just viciousness that fans are hoping to see tonight. If it actually happens, we'll see. But that slap, that certainly is not unique, but it certainly turned up the temperature a little.
Two things. You never step on a grown man's Air Forces, especially the all whites. That's a no-no. So Jake Paul should be slapped for that. Second thing, I knew Mike was all business when I saw that viral video of him telling some kid, like, who gives a blank about legacy? Like, dude, it's a 14-year-old reporter, like, and his man's talking about, I don't care. So it looks like he's locked in. But is there any new news or drama or updates surrounding this fight that you think fans should know going into it?
I mean, the biggest update, I guess, is just what they weighed in. They both weighed in about less than a pound within each other. I think Jake Paul was 227 and some change, and Mike Tyson was 228 and some change. So they're both very, very similar in weight. And, the biggest drama surrounding this, besides just what we're going to see and what's going to happen, is concern for Mike Tyson's health. And, I wrote about that in today's post. I spoke to a bunch of people, and, there is legitimate fear for him. He's 58 years old. 58-year-olds just don't have the reaction times, don't have the speed as they do when they're 48, when they're 38, when they're 28. This fight has been postponed because he suffered an inflamed ulcer in May. This fight was supposed to be in June. Or in July. It's been postponed to now. How many 58-year-olds coming off inflamed ulcers do you know that get inside the boxing ring and get punched? There's not a lot of precedent for 58-year-olds getting in the ring and getting punched. So that, I think, is the biggest drama. Is Jake Paul, while he might not be a polished boxer, is certainly capable of landing big punches. He certainly has power. He has knocked guys out before. I think the biggest drama is if Mike Tyson gets hit hard once, what is he? Is he the same Iron Mike that can take a punch and then give it back, or is he a 58-year-old man?
Well, he's the one that said everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. So we're about to see. We saw it at 28, but let's see how he responds at 58. But to go back into the concerns of his health, you did your due diligence. You spoke with some doctors. You went and got some background information on it. We're concerned as Iron Mike fans, but in terms of people who are in the health profession, the doctors you spoke to, are they concerned?
Yes, especially the one thing that they pointed out is the potential for brain damage. As we get older, our brain actually shrinks, and it was described to be we're not getting dumber, our brain just shrinks, it becomes less malleable, but our skull stays the same size. So there's more room for your brain to, the word that was described to me was slosh around in your head. So if he were to take a big punch, he is at a higher risk of brain damage or brain injury, or they said brain bleed, than he was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So that was the main concern. He's definitely at a higher risk of brain injury, and his anatomy is just different now than it was when he was fighting. He last fought in 2005. His brain anatomy is just, as what was told to me, is different, and that leads to some real, cause for concern.
Man, I think we look at this, we all know it's entertainment, but if something were to happen to Mike in the ring, I think a lot of people would turn on Jake Paul, and it wouldn't even be his fault. Mike signed up for this fight. And I hate to continue to be a buzzkill on this one, Jared, but I mean, you cover pro boxing, you've interviewed some of the top boxers from around the world. From a media standpoint, how are you going into this fight? How are you covering it?
As connecting to the last point, a lot of states didn't want to sanction this fight, and Texas only did with 3 stipulations: 2-minute rounds instead of 3-minute rounds, 8 rounds instead of 10 rounds, and they're wearing bigger gloves to lessen the impact of punches. So that shows the concern for his health right there, and I think that should tell us how we should view this event. It's tend to be an officially sanctioned fight now that will count on their record. This will count on both their professional records, but the rules are different. So how can we take it as the same as a normal fight? Look, is this entertainment? Is this sport? I've been asked that question a lot. But it's going to make a lot of money for the two of them. I think that lies in the eye of the beholder. It's hard to compare it to a real boxing match and a real sporting event because they're going by different rules. But look, anytime 2 people get in the ring and punch each other, they're putting their health on the line. So I think we can look at it 2 ways. If you want to look at it as a circus and just entertainment and I just want to watch to see what the heck happens. That's what they're banking on. They don't care why you watch. They just care that you watch. I think most people look at it the same way. We don't know what's going to happen. We have no idea what a 58-year-old Mike Tyson still has. We have no idea what a YouTuber turned boxer actually can do in the ring. Let's see. Let's see what happens.
It gives us a reason to it gives me a reason to put the kid to sleep early and hang out, go to a little bar, and hang out and watch. I mean, again, it's entertainment. The 2 people involved are I guess you can say one's a legend in terms of the boxing world, another one in the YouTube turned entrepreneurship. Jake Paul's doing some great stuff, so kudos to him. But Jared, I got to put you on the spot. Once the bell rings and all that hype is over, who you got and why?
My one prediction is I don't think there will be, the big knockout that everybody's looking for, one way or the other. I think it might be a little more boring than people wish. I think they're going to play around a little bit. I think they're going to dance with each other. Look, Jake Paul is a heavy betting favorite. A lot of people are betting on Mike Tyson because he's the underdog. Look, I'm going to bet I'll predict the 27-year-old will beat the 58-year-old, and to me, that's the bottom line. We know Mike Tyson is a legend. We know how great he is, but he's 58 years old, and father time is father time. I don't think he'll be able to move the same. I don't think he'll be able to take punches the same. And, Jake Paul, while he might not be, a real polished boxer, knows what he's doing in the ring. He has fought 3 professional boxers. He's gone 2-1 against them. He's fought ex-MMA fighters who, while they might not be polished boxers, can take punches. He's not a novice in the ring. So, look, it's a 58-year-old and a 27-year-old. I lean toward the 27-year-old.
I'm leaning on Iron Mike Tyson. # respect your elders. I think my man still got it, but either way, I just don't want anything to happen to him in the ring. 2, I just hope we get just 8 rounds of just pure entertainment and at least some good rib shots and the uppercut in there, because one has or had a video game called Mike Tyson Punch-Out. So, all right, Jared, enjoy the night. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and thanks for hopping on with us, man.
Thanks, Brand. Always a pleasure.